Periods come with pains, but not for everyone. Some people are very lucky they do not experience period pains, but for those who experience period pains,
And it's another day we converge here for
a girl may just not have menstrual syndromes, and then she wakes up today, her period is there, she doesn't have any pains, it lasts 3 days and then it goes away. Then there are other ones, the menstrual syndromes, painful periods.
episode. And our guest for this episode is a social worker, still a student, but her knowledge on this field is top notch. Now,
In premenstrual syndromes, you can have, I was telling you about the symptoms, nausea, bloating, mood swings, or loss of appetite or increased appetite.
and it's another day we converge here. And our guest for this episode is a social worker, still a student, but her knowledge on this field is top notch. Now, today we want to talk about menstrual health or menstrual hygiene. Remember, menstruation, which starts at adolescence, lasts until around menopause. I don't know if I'm right because I'm a man. She'll tell us that. And it's normal or a vital aspect of a woman's reproductive cycle. Menstruation is a normal cyclic process that women experience, and it is really vital to their biological phenomena and indicates reproductive health for a woman. There are things that when happen when the menstruation cycle is not okay, there are things that might happen that may result to other things. That I know because I have 6 sisters. Now, the Kilifi County Women Representative has always been in the forefront, working in school, distributing sanitary pads, providing menstrual health talks and menstrual health hygiene. And just a few weeks ago, she launched the Kilifi County menstrual hygiene cycle. She's going to rotate around the Kilifi County providing education to the students. Now, Kilifi County has so many girls, and today we want to just have a normal conversation around menstrual health. And at this point, I want to invite my guest. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Now, before we begin, get to introduce yourself to my audience.
My name is Beyonce Wanjiru, a student and a social worker at the YMCA in Kilifi. It's in Musufini. Yeah.
What's YMCA for?
Young Men Christian Association.
Men. Why is it that everything has men?
We found it like that. It was founded by young men, but they are working to build the youth and also children mentally, physically, and also socially.
Now, today we want to talk about menstrual health. I understand there is the normal and the abnormal.
Yeah.
And let's begin. What is the normal menstrual cycle?
The normal menstrual cycle is supposed to be 28 days.
1 month.
Yeah, 1 month.
Okay, now how does it occur? Now, what is its typical length? What is the variation in between? And what is the total cycle length?
They say a normal period is supposed to occur after every 28 days, and then it's supposed to last from 3 to 7 days. But a normal variation is supposed to be from like 21 to 35 days, not exceeding that.
Now, if there is the normal menstrual cycle, it indicates there is the part that it might not be normal.
Yes.
How does let's speak about for the young girl, a very young girl, let's say in standard 5, who is now seeing periods for the first time.
Yes.
And how will she be able to know whether it's normal or abnormal?
If it exceeds, it's supposed to last from 3 to 7 days. If it is less than that or your period exceeds 7 days, that is abnormal. If it comes this month, you're having your period, next month you're not having a period, or maybe it's 28, 35, 2 months you're not having a period, that is very abnormal and you should see a doctor.
And okay, periods come with pains.
Yeah, true.
How do you manage the pains as a lady, and especially as a very young girl for the first time in that field?
Periods come with pains, but not for everyone. Some people are very lucky they do not experience period pains. But for those who experience period pains, as for young girls, you can use a hot water pad or a hot water bottle, then you put it at your lower stomach and then you lie down and it helps the pain go away. You can also take hot water or hot water with cinnamon. Cinnamon has antioxidants and it also helps with period pains, and also cloves. Cloves and cinnamon. You can take a concoction of cinnamon, cloves, hot water, and some honey, and then it can help your period pains go down.
So this is a home remedy, like natural.
Yeah.
Ile ya Kiafrika.
Kienyeji. Yes.
Now, at what point does Buscopan come in?
When you have severe period pains. Some of us, those people are different. So what may work for me may not work for the other person.
Okay.
So if the concoctions or the home remedies are not working, you can try over-the-counter medications. For little pain, you can take Panadol. When the pain continues to exceed, kuna other medications like Glumethema, Buscopan.
And do they come with side effects, like the over-counter medicine?
Every medicine has side effects.
How grace is it? Or, okay, assume she's going to a normal chemist to buy the medicine. And I'm very sure they'll not do a test whether the medicine is compatible with the body, and it results to the side effects. Is it advisable for very young girls to go for the medication, or is there an age, let's say maybe like you are 15, then I find the over-counter medication?
I think for young girls, they're supposed to be taken to hospitals. If the pain is severe at a young age, I would recommend the parents to just take the child to hospital to get the tests done, and then the doctor will decide which medicine is best for her. She may have allergies, so the doctor will get to decide. I don't recommend for young girls to go and get over-the-counter medications.
And at what point should one see a doctor?
When the pains are too severe. When it disrupts your normal activities, you wake up in the morning, maybe you're vomiting, your back hurts, your stomach, every part of your body is aching, just go to the hospital.
Oh, so period or period pains, there are certain PMS.
Premenstrual syndromes.
Yeah. What are the common symptoms for premenstrual syndrome?
There are very many symptoms and different to different girls. There is nausea. You can feel like vomiting, and a lot of premenstrual syndromes are look like pregnancy symptoms. Yeah, a lot of symptoms in premenstrual syndrome and pregnancy may look alike.
And what causes premenstrual syndrome? To begin from there, by the way, what is the cause?
We were told it is normal because you're going to experience your periods.
Okay.
That is what the doctors tell us.
It's normal.
That is what they say, it is normal.
Okay.
But not everyone gets to experience premenstrual syndrome.
Kwani nyinyi kila kitu inachagua?
Periods are very different for different people. A girl may just not have premenstrual syndromes, and then she wakes up today, her period is there, she doesn't have any pains, it lasts 3 days and then it goes away. Then there are other ones, premenstrual syndromes, painful periods,
Now, when walking around with the women rep, she usually advocates that the first time a girl sees a period, who is the first person to talk to? I remember when I was a young boy, there's something we were told of wet dreams, and when we saw it, we didn't know whom to tell. So, what should be the first thing, or at what age should a parent be really concerned about the girl? That this girl at this age, does she, unajua wazazi wa Kiafrika wafuatiliangi hizi vitu. At what age will you tell that if your kid is at this age, kindly a parent start being keen whether she's undergoing menstrual cycle or not?
I think from 15 years, you're supposed to start being concerned, but periods are supposed to start at 12 or 13 years, and some girls experience it from as young as 9 years.
9?
9.
Now what causes it to begin at 9?
Genetics or hormones in the body.
I GMO. I was told there are foods that when you eat, it activates your menstrual cycle.
I have never heard of that. Maybe the foods you eat, they affect your hormones.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, what is the difference between premenstrual syndrome and the other conditions now?
In premenstrual syndromes, you can have, I was telling you about the symptoms. Nausea, bloating, mood swings, or loss of appetite, or increased appetite. So in pregnancy, the cramping is not as severe as the one you have in PMS. It is just light. And in pregnancy, you can have spotting, but in PMS, it's rare for someone to have spotting. Those are like the two differences between PMS and pregnancy.
Hii kitu ilikuwa inafaa msichana afanye. I'm floating, I'm floating.
You're doing good.
Okay, now PMS, we are still on the premenstrual syndrome.
Yeah.
Does it occur during the menstrual cycle, or it occurs before the menstrual cycle?
Premenstrual syndrome before you get your period.
Before.
They're like a week or two, you can start experiencing PMS.
Na tunaonanga wengine wanasema cramps zinaniuma.
Yeah. You can have cramps and no periods. That is also a symptom of PMS.
And does PMS reach a point that requires the doctor's attention?
Yeah. If you have severe cramping and nausea during PMS, you're supposed to see a doctor. You can have other underlying issues.
So what are the signs of the abnormal? I think you gave us this, but wanasema there is thick menstruation and okay, I don't know. Is it true?
Heavy flow.
Yeah, heavy flow and
there is heavy flow, there is overbleeding.
The difference between the two?
Overbleeding, it's like you're having overbleeding in your menstrual period when you're having what is it called? Spotting in between your periods, before you start your periods, or maybe after your period ends, or when you're not supposed to be having PMS or anything, you have spotting. That is also overbleeding during your menstrual cycle. And also when you're having your periods, you're overbleeding in like your pad fills up in 1 to 3 hours. Okay. That is also overbleeding. And if your period exceeds 7 days, that is also overbleeding.
And now the heavy flow?
Heavy flow is just normal. Maybe, in regards to your body and your hormones, you can just have you can have heavy periods, some have light. It's just variation between girls.
So there are these around 3 things that I want to talk about. Causes of painful periods, uterine fibroids, endometriosis, and PCOS.
Those are actually causes of painful periods, and underlying diseases that may even cause. They have a lot of causes. Even that Josie, we lost one of us due to endometriosis. She was battling endometriosis for 19 years since she got her first period. So
endometriosis is a disease. Yeah. What causes it?
There's a lining that it's fake. It's like it acts like a uterine lining, but it forms in other parts of the body. Then you start bleeding during your menstrual periods. It can form in the fallopian tube, even in your lungs or your stomach lining, and it causes bleeding during your period cycle. And the doctors haven't found a cause or a cure. So people who have endometriosis mostly go to hospitals during that period, because some people, they can't breathe properly because of where the lining has formed. They can't eat properly. They can't even move. They get sick, or they go into coma for like almost the whole period.
Coma?
Yeah. So if you're having severe periods that are disrupting your daily activities, you wake up, you can't move, you can't do anything, please go to the hospital. It is not a joke.
What about the uterine fibroids now?
The uterine fibroids, they form in your uterus, and they're not so severe because some of them can shrink on their own, and you can receive medication for uterine fibroids, or if it is severe, you can also go for surgeries. At least that they have cures and remedies for it. And then you have PCOS, it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. So cysts form on your ovaries, and a lot of cysts form on your ovaries, and they cause a lot of pain during your menstrual cycle, and they also cause irregular periods. This is caused by having too much androgen in your body. Androgen is a male hormone. We have it in small amounts. As women, we have it in small amounts. But if you have it in large amounts, it causes PCOS. There is no cure for it, but there are remedies to reduce the symptoms. It can cause infertility. I'm not saying you'll be infertile if you have PCOS. It can cause infertility. It causes weight gain, a lot of weight gain around your stomach area, and it also causes like a lot of hair growth. You can find some women have beard, hair on the chest, too much hair growth.
So, as a social worker, considering these diseases or these effects, You're saying there is one who started, the lady who just died, may her soul rest in peace. She first experienced it from her first period.
Yeah.
And in the current generation, very young kids are experiencing period pains.
Yeah.
What advice as a social worker would you give the society to help young girls? Because I'm very sure out of 10 girls, we have 5 girls undergoing that.
Yeah.
But they don't know what is happening in them.
One thing I would actually say is I wish the doctors in our country would like do more research on women's reproductive health. Because let me give an example of myself. There was a time I was experiencing like very painful periods. I couldn't even go to school, or if I go to school, my mom would have to come for me. You get. Then we go to the hospital. The doctor will tell you it is normal. I get angry. I'm like, what is normal about this? I'm in pain. Other girls are not in pain. If it was normal, I think all of us would be like, the same thing is normal. So I would advise like the doctors and the government like to put a lot of money to do research on women's reproductive health. A lot of women have suffered. A lot of women, young girls, are really, really suffering out here.
So we have public schools, private schools, and we have infections. They call them
UTIs or
and I'm very sure UTIs also have an effect to menstruation problems. The UTIs.
Not really, but it has an effect on your reproductive health at large.
Now, what are some of the best practices? Let's begin with the reproductive health, because the menstrual hygiene will automatically or definitely result to a healthy reproductive health.
Yeah.
So begin with reproductive health.
You want me to talk about UTIs?
Yeah.
There are a lot of causes of UTIs. In schools, lumesema private, public schools, girls' toilets are supposed to be cleaned, because there was a way we were taught how we were supposed to be like in public toilets. You're not supposed to squat all down, because everyone has been going to the toilet. You don't know who is sick. The toilet has been dirty. There's a lot of bacteria. So if it splashes on you, automatically you get sick. So to prevent or avoid getting UTIs, you're supposed to go to clean toilets. If you're going to public toilets, do not squat all the way down, or make sure like you pour water before you even go to that toilet. Make sure you wear comfortable panties. I would recommend cotton panties, especially people who are in places where there's a lot of heat.
Just say Kilifi.
Yeah. Not Kilifi only, like around the coast or anywhere. Make sure you change your panties frequently. Don't go anywhere without panties. Make sure you shower daily or even twice if you can. And we are told not to wash our vulva with soap. We're supposed to wash it with a clean cloth and water, because soap, especially those ones with perfume, they will irritate you, and then you'll start being itchy. If you're itchy, you'll want to scratch yourself. Maybe you'll have dirty hands. The moment you start scratching yourself, you will also cause yourself infections, not necessarily UTIs, but also yeast infections.
Now, for the menstrual hygiene, what are the best practices for it?
You're supposed, for those using pads, tampons, there are a lot of products. Let me start with that. There are pads, there are tampons, and there are also menstrual cups. And a lot of young people are mostly exposed to pads. So your pad, you're supposed to change it between 6 to 8 hours, not longer than that. It will cause irritation, or even it is called toxic shock syndrome.
Hakuna pad iko kama Pampers. Pampers nasikia kuna inandanga 12.
There are. Mostly they're given to women from their maternity because of the bleeding and everything. But if you have heavy periods, you can use them. Menstrual underwears. That is what they're called.
Now, they're only recommended to those, or
no, anyone can use them. Like, you just pick whatever you're comfortable with.
But 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, 6 to 8 hours. Please change.
You know me, I'm now worried about a girl who is around 12 years or 10, and she's in school. The teachers are there, but she can't speak out. How will they see me? Or a girl waking up, she sees the blood. How will people see me?
That is why we are advised to start talking to our girls from primary schools. Like, create awareness, not only to the girls, also to the boys. So
why?
Ndio hiyo kijana akiona nimeamka niko na something, ataanza kucheka, sema, like at least even if the boys are aware, they'll know like kuja kushika kwambie uko na, instead of laughing at you. You know, if they laugh at that girl, atakuwa ashamed. She won't want to talk about it. She'll feel ashamed of having periods. And there's nothing shameful about having periods. Nothing at all. So we'll recommend teachers to speak to their students, both boys and girls, from primary schools to high school, create awareness, make the girls comfortable in having their menstrual periods so they can be comfortable if they have issues during those times. Itakuwa easy for them to speak out, and it will be easy to help those who have issues.
Now, do these products vary from, let's say, age? Kuna products, maybe the menstrual products, that this one is between the age of 9 to 15, from the age of maybe 20, you can use this?
No, but young girls are mostly advised to use pads or menstrual underwears.
Okay.
Because tampons, you need to insert it. So telling a 9-year-old girl to insert a tampon, you know, like, I think pads age appropriate, but they haven't put an age bracket for this, for anything. It's just what is age appropriate for them, or what will be easy for the young girls to use. So the young girls are advised to use pads or menstrual underwears.
Wow. I think I've learned something. I've learned something. And we are about to end this conversation. We were just having the first conversation on menstrual health, like a synopsis into menstrual health. And today I want to teach you something. The women rep of Kilifi has a certain slang. It's my periods, my life, my pride. And by the way, does YMCA carry out menstrual health awareness?
Yeah, we did it for our girls.
You are girls. Now, Kilifi County has over 50,000 girls.
We started, it's not something that has been that vibrant, so we decided to start. So we're starting from below. We have to start with a smaller number, then we continue growing and growing. But if we find people we can partner with, gladly. We are looking for people we can partner with, actually. Yeah. And if we find, or if they find us, we'll go broad proudly.
So maybe now for the partnership part, how can someone locate YMCA now? Ulisema mko Misufini.
Yes.
Ndio uko kwanza nikikuja usiku nafani usibebe iPhone yangu.
Atupangi usiku.
So contacts, maybe
we have an
page.
Instagram page. YMCA Kilifi.
That's the only way you can get you. But you know, in Kilifi, most people are on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also on Facebook. There's one on Facebook and one on Instagram, and they also have a Twitter page.
Okay. Wow. So we really want to appreciate Beyonce for taking time to converse with us. And menstrual health is something that can never end. We have seen it is the Ministry of Education that was mandated by the Constitution and the Parliament to be distributing sanitary towels to schools, but they have not been doing it. So there is a motion in Parliament, of which I don't know if it has passed yet, but there is a motion that the women representatives, since they are mothers, they understand this. Sasa mchogo ataelewaje hivi vitu? Kama mwenyewe
they have to advocate for us.
Yeah, so there is a motion that they should mandate the office of the women representatives with the distribution of sanitary pads.
Yes.
And in Kilifi County so far, in the last 1 year, the women representative has been able to visit all wards in Kilifi County, distributing sanitary pads, providing menstrual health education. There was a very big event in Malindi organized by Oscar Wanje on menstrual health, and a lot was shared. There are so many questions that you have not responded to, and we will see if we can be able to do a second part of the same conversation around menstrual health. Maybe as we end this, what is your last word to your younger sisters? Wale huko jua anaweza jisimamia. Nimeachana na the younger ones now.
All I can say, there is no shame in menstruation.
No shame in menstruation.
Yes.
For me, I'll say your periods, your life, your pride. Till we meet again, my name is Mwavali Derrick. This is the edition of the King's Note that is called Pardon the Interruption or Converse with Mwavali. Remember to subscribe, to comment, to share. And also, we are still seeking more and more information. You might have experienced, just as she said, menstrual period or menstrual cycles are different with different people. So maybe to you it's different, the same way it's different to another, and you may relate to someone who is facing that challenge. So feel free to share your views and your ideas through the comment section. Till we meet again, Have yourselves a lovely week ahead.